Thanks for staying with us. It's still iBrandTV, and it's time to keep you motivated, talking about our morning motivation segment. On today's edition, we'll be talking about the virtual assistants and services, and that's about, virtual assistants. Basically, we'll be looking at the ropes of that, and joining us to discuss this is Ikbola Dara Balogun, the CEO of Correct Virtual Assistant, who is here with us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm very well, and
Thanks
you?
for joining us.
Thank you very much.
So let's start from the basics. For those who do not understand, what is virtual assistant services?
Okay, so virtual assistant services are just administrative tasks that we provide for businesses.
Okay.
So there are a lot of businesses out there, and we notice that a lot of them need help, right, for customer service aspects, for their virtual PA and the likes, and they don't even have the money or the money. They don't have the money to come out and to say they want to employ more hands. So how we come in, we just provide these services remotely, and we help these businesses to manage these tasks, and their business is going on well, and we are doing fine too.
Okay, quite intriguing. So in other words, it's a way of helping companies have those people in place without employing.
Yes, without employing physically. Yes.
Okay, now, I'm trying to understand this, so probably you just help me elaborate more. But there's some tasks that you would need administrative duties. Basically, that's what your virtual assistant. But that's some administrative duties, or I used to think that a lot of administrative duties need on ground workers to be able to handle it.
Okay, so it depends on what the business entails, as in the business that we're providing services for. But there are some. So for example, customer service can be done virtually, depending on what the business does, and social media management, website management, virtual PA. You can be in a meeting. I can join the meeting and take down minutes and the likes, and I can help you with your to-do lists and manage you even virtually. I don't have to be following you all around to manage you. So those are some of the services that we provide to our clients, and they are virtually. So those are services. So you don't really have to be on ground to do all those stuff.
Okay. We don't have a lot of people doing something like this. So at what point did you decide to do this, and what was your motivating factor?
Okay, so let me just share a brief of my story. So 2020, during the lockdown, I was working with a learning and development agency in Bagada. But because of the lockdown, there are a lot of things that, went out. Yes. So I said, I do this, right? By the side, but it was not really a full business. So it was when we resumed back, I think June, when the government called that we can resume normal duties, but I now said, okay, I want to start something. I just don't want to do the normal digital marketing everybody's doing. I don't want to be social media managers like every other person. So I went online and I saw this business, which I said, okay, this is what I do, but it's more packaged, it's more robust and all that. And that is how I started. So a lot of people are not doing it, especially in Nigeria. Outside the country, it's something that everybody already understands. But in Nigeria, a lot of us are not doing it, but it's actually a business that anybody, because number one, you don't really need a lot. You need just your internet and some skills to start. So it's not something that really need a capital, a space and the likes to start. So because of that, it's something that I feel that everybody should think about doing, because providing service for about 2 or 3, 4, 5 companies can really sort your bills at that point in time. You don't really have to come out and say you don't have money, and anybody, age group, whatever, you can't start it. So
that's quite intriguing. I mean, because you're basically telecommuting around, earning a lot. But let's look at this. You said earlier that what one needs to start this business is, internet and skills. So I'm more concerned about those skills, because it's one thing for people to have the internet and the smartphones or devices and still don't know how to go about the business. So talking about the skills, run us through some of the skills that are needed. That's one. Then two, the process of learning or acquiring such skills. Do they have to go for tutorials, like a school that will teach them those skills and what have you?
Yeah, thank you very much. All right, so one of the skills that is actually needed is content writing, and I believe everybody can write.
Okay.
It's just so you can be very proficient in it, and you can be laid back a little, but you can always come together and come up with sentences and come together. Because one of the services that this company needs is they need somebody to help them put out their content out there. They need somebody to help them take down minutes. They need somebody to help them go with their record, maybe their bookkeeping, their diary management, and the likes. So one of the interesting skills that you really need to do, and I believe that a lot of you have that skills. It's just that some of us are using it to make money, and some of us are just playing around it. You do understand? Because, for example, you are posting a picture on social media, you are writing something, irrespective of anything, you are still passing a message, and those are the skills that you need. So having those basic skills at first, you know, can set you in motion. Then the place of learning on it's actually, so you can now read more, go for trainings, and there are a lot of free trainings. Google especially gives a lot of free trainings in that aspect, where you can learn social media management, email marketing, a lot and all. So there are so many things to learn.
Quickly, is it just content writing? What other skills?
So, like I mentioned, that is actually the basic skills. Yes, because everything around this revolves majorly around that. So, for example, if you are managing a page, you know, social media management, or you are doing customer service, it's still responding promptly, like to customers, saying the right thing, knowing where to perceive them, know what to say when they want to buy and the like. So, it's still basic English, you know, communication, proficiency that you really need. So that's why I said that is actually the basic skill. So if you know, so virtual assistant is actually broad, right? There are a lot of skills that's under the umbrella of virtual assistant services. So you really need to sit down and say, okay, which of these services do I really want to focus on? Because there are a lot of it. So social media management is one of it. Diary management is one of it. Website is one of it. Website itself, as a creator website is one. Then managing the back end of the website is another. Which you can really get money for. And the content creation that I'm even mentioning is actually a skill. Like you can just be a virtual assistant and you be a copywriter, or you are be a content writer, or you're a content editor. Or anything from the back end. So there are lots of it. So you need to sit down and say, you can't do all, really.
Definitely.
So you need to sit down and say, okay, this is which these are the ones that I really want to talk about. These are the ones I want to do, you know, and email marketing, all those, there are lots around this.
Now, first, you mentioned earlier that managing the administrative duties of 2, 3, 4 companies at some point, at that point, can sort your bills. So I want to be sure that is there a possibility of handling so many things and they don't clash? Because I imagine I'm giving you my company administrative duties to handle, he's giving you his, and I will expect the same result almost at the same time. So what are those things you need to do to ensure that everyone is satisfied and you're not having to go? It sounds like a lot of work.
Yes, it's actually a lot of work. So I believe why I scaled faster on the business is because when I started, I knew that I was not going to be doing it alone. I sat down and I knew, okay, what is my strength? My strength is actually content. So I know that I will need some, if I'm going into social media management, I will need some social media managers. I will need graphics designer. I will need other people, maybe video creators and content creators and they're like. So I employed those people. But in a life case, so come and intern with me. You will learn, like I'll train you, and you know, you will still earn. So those are the 2 things I did. So that is how it was easier for me to scale faster. So as I speak, we have about 8 people that are working. So we decided from interning when we had about 1 or 2 customers, but now that we have about, because presently in Lagos we have about 42 clients that we're servicing, and we have some people outside outside Lagos. Then we have, that's for social media management. Or for other businesses like website management, email marketing, we have customers that we are servicing and we are providing such services for. So I know I can't do it again. So what I need is that I just want a team. I don't want to be that CEO. So I'm the team lead. I manage you guys. I manage the clients. But I'll tell you what to do. I'll tell you how to do it. So it's actually a whole lot of work because, you are coming for social media management, you're coming for email marketing. But when you have people that, at some point, when you train them, they're already good. All you do is you proofread, you check what they are doing, and you know that they are doing the right thing at the right time.
Okay, two things. For all of these skills, you know, what's the cost of learning? Because they have to learn. You said you had those who had to intern first before they joined the team on a full-time basis. But is there any cost for learning these, you know, skills, be it content writing, email marketing, and the rest of them?
Okay, so one thing I tell people is that everything is actually about money. I think the first thing is the skill. Wow. YouTube has a lot of videos that can train people to be at least the basic things they need to know about these businesses. So to start with, you even need to show that zeal. Okay, I'm interested in this thing. I'm interested in learning. I'm interested in starting a business. So when you learn those things, then you can now go forward to, there's LinkedIn learning platform, there's Coursera, there's Google, there's a lot of things. I will say that, I'm not saying that you should not pay somebody to learn, but I'm saying that you can still leverage on these free opportunities, you know, to learn these things. Then maybe later on, like maybe when you now have the money and all that, because you know what we are trying to preach is that these skills, you can start them even without a whole lot of capital. And you can still earn from them.
Okay. So can this be a passive income, having to do these and still maintain your 9 to 5?
Yes. So yes, I worked when I started the business. I was on a team that's a NGO that was training about 10,000 women in Lagos.
Oh, okay.
So we were going to from communities to communities. The project was sponsored by Coca-Cola Foundation, and I was on that team. I was doing that job. Like sometimes I'm outside Lagos, but virtually I was managing my team, and business was going on well.
Okay, but then how lucrative is this? Looking at the okay, that side. All right, tell us about it.
Yeah, so actually it's lucrative if you know what you're doing. Yeah, because businesses need those services. If you actually know what you're doing, it's very lucrative. So, for example, let me say you're coming for social media management. I'm charging you probably 50K monthly. Yeah, I'm charging you 50K monthly. Let me say the cost of running these things. So, aside maybe paying the team on, like maybe you have the cost, data and the likes. It's not, because you are not paying for all services. You're only paying for data. And you're probably managing your system and all that, you know, fuel and some other little expenses. And if you really know what you're doing, something you can really scan on. You get. So when I say lucrative, it depends on the number of clients. When I started, I knew that, okay, these are the clients that I'm looking up to. Do you understand that I want to have? So I packaged, like there's a way you package your business, and there are people that you reach out to. When you're coming on board with me, immediately you say, okay, I'm interested in your services. The first thing I share is my price list. You know, I'm not having a casual engagement. So I say share. If it's go, I send it to my website. You know, everything is in place. So when you are coming like that, you know that you are coming to make a business. It's a business to business business. It's not a business to one person. Because if it's one person, they say, what are you doing? Is it on internet? I will pay you 10,000. You get. But there's a way you package yourself that you charge 100,000 per client, and they will pay. Especially when they know that you are giving them a top-notch service.
Yes. Okay. So let's look at it this way now. For whoever wants to do this, I mean, what you're doing on well, a relatively medium scale, let's put it that way. What will be the cost? When I mean someone who wants to do it, I'm not saying someone who is trying to maybe start, you know, as an intern. I'm talking about someone who wants to start it as a business. Yes. So what will be the cost implication of that? That's one. Then two, what are things the person needs to put in place? Okay,
so to start with, the cost implication, like I mentioned, is a mobile phone. If you have a laptop, it's a plus, because there are some services that you cannot really work on it or your phone. Yeah, so a smartphone, a laptop, then a good internet. So the cost of that is not relative to whatever brand or make or that you are buying, like the brand of phone, the brand of system and the likes. But that is really the basic and a good environment. Like you don't have to be in meetings and noise everywhere. So you have to look for a place that you can really. That is actually the basics. So costing that now depends on what you term affordability to you, because affordability to you can be 30,000 naira phone, and to another person it might be a million. It depends on so that is to start. So what to start with, like I mentioned, the skills, you have to sit down and say the basic skills that you can actually leverage on in business. Why I keep mentioning social media management is because social media is really one of the skills that is common. Everybody, because everybody is online, they are posting, but it's just that you're not leveraging. Instead of you sitting at home every day, following the celebrities, commenting on where you're not supposed to comment on. Reach out, look, do a flyer, go to Canva, come up with a flyer and share with among your friends. If you have businesses, I can manage it for you. Before you know, before you push it out in a month, 1 or 2 people will reach out to you. Okay. So that's basic, of stuffing.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That was quite expository.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
That was Ikbola Dara Balogun, the CEO of Correct Virtual Assistants, taking us through the ropes of virtual assistant services. We'll go on a short break now. When we return, it will be a personal finance segment with Charles Frakoha. Please to stay with us.